Retard. Retard.
So, good evening everyone, I hope you're all doing good. Hey Mark, hope you're fine. Keep hello to you. Pilsner, hello. Lila Pal, hello. Fred, hi. Cloak on, hello. Casper, hello to you. Alphonse, hey. Luke, hello. Yanni, BAWB, hey. Pilsner, nice to see you. DK, NGX Productions. No, so this is not, unfortunately, not the version yet with VNAV, because as far as I understand, VNAV function is only for the beta testers or something at the moment, so I don't have that. For some reason, I just thought that someone is actually spawned on my position, but that is actually the deflection of the rudder pedal there, of the rudder. Right, we've got with us MAN, I can see, back here. That's MAN. I'm not sure who that is. Hey Sapphire and Flight Sim Dad, hello to you. Right, yeah, so we are trying to fly from Rome, Fiumicino, and we're flying to Catania. So we have a payware add-on for Roma. So this is the new scenery, and Catania is also payware. Hey Peter, how you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah, so let's see. I have not had a quick detailed look at these yet, but it looks like the interiors aren't modeled. Hang on, let me just go in here. No, they're not. That's a shame. I always find that a real shame, because we've seen so many good add-ons, scenery add-ons, where the interior is actually modeled properly. You will join as well, DK. Nice. Hey Gregor, nice to see you. Yeah, the livery is interesting, right? I mean, there's people that really dislike it, but there's also people that say, hey, you know, that's a new, fresh kind of start. You know, kind of a interesting livery. It's noticeable, so I guess it does its job, right? Yes, this is MK Studios, yeah, Casper. Unless I've messed up the installation and this is standard. I've been known to do this, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I checked that Rome now is the only. Thank you much, Mark, for the overlay. Yeah, you're correct. It's busy. So Roma online day, which is nice. Let me just check the runway setup here. So we have runways 3-4 left, 3-4 right. The reason being is the wind is currently 010 degrees, 15 knots. So runway 25 probably has a bit too much tailwind component, and hence that's why they have 3-4 left and 3-4 right. So the departure runway is 3-4 left, which is going to be this one here. Hey Pilot Olaf, how you doing? Right. The weather here is beautiful. We'll go through the briefing package in a minute. I am really looking forward to the flight, because Catania, I've been to Catania in real life a couple of times on a 737, and so I do remember it from real world flying, and with the Etna being nearby, we'll have a look at those things there. And so Sim Toolkit Pro, there we go. So right now the weather here, yeah, so northerly winds 17 knots, kind of unusual for Rome. Temporary up to gust 25, obviously. So, and there we have Catania, westerly winds 12 knots, and 12 degrees. Not much. Actually, they do have a change. Look at that wind change later. So 18 UTC, you know, between 18 today and tomorrow 18, it's going to be easterly winds. So we have to watch that. Although the flight time isn't that long. It's an hour, 4 minutes. Level 290 is filed. So not really. Yeah, well, I currently think it's going to stay as westerly wind. I don't think it's going to change that quickly to easterly winds, but we'll see. We are definitely monitoring that. Where's my? I'm looking for the. There we go. So charts. Weather situation. Yeah. So yeah, nice tailwind down to Catania, on Sicily Island. Topper pause will be above us. That's no factor. Right. If anybody wants to fly along, I have made a routing, and I think I actually used VATSIM website for this, or I mean at least a link to the flight planning. So if anybody is interested, that is the routing I'm taking right now. Good. Questions. Let's check. Terminal 3 is modeled. Okay, so Terminal 3. Where's Terminal 3? Which one is that? Is that Terminal 3 here? I have no idea if that's Terminal 3 or not. Hey, India Virtual Aviation, how are you doing? Oh yeah, it is. You're right. Yeah, nice. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I would have thought, you know, they would do the same. I really like that kind of effort, where, you know, at night time you can see in as well. So you know, you have a feeling it's actually model, not just you know, like we have on this part of the airport. Where are we? Here we are. Yeah, so, right. They could have tried a bit more. Oh, MAN is already leaving. Oh, God, we have to go. Jeez. Right, here we go. We've got to hurry up. MAN is like, oh, God, he's talking so much again. I'm off. See you in Catania. Time is money. You rock. Right, well, I'm at 612. Or you mean you are at 711? I didn't know there's a gate 711. That would have been quite funny, actually. That would have been funny. Oh, that's not you. So hang on, you were at 611. 611. Hang on. That's you then. Yeah, there we go. So that's MAN. Oh, right. Yeah, MAN, definitely. I had interesting training day yesterday with my company, with the cabin crew. Really interesting day. I learned some new stuff. I always love it when, even after 25 years or more of flying, you know, there's still stuff that I can learn. Really cool. Right, good database here. Right. So quickly going through the flight planning here. As mentioned, level 290, an hour 4 minutes. Alternate is Malta. 1200 kilograms alternate fuel. Weather for Malta is also beautiful, I would imagine. Few 2000. Yeah, a bit windy later on, but apart from that, it's not really much of a threat. So all good. The only thing I would like to check is the volcanic ash scenario. Hey Cucumber Bush, how you doing? Rox, say good evening to you. Philip, hello to you. Yeah, so... Oh, hang on. Fuel, including about half an hour extra fuel. I don't know how busy it's going to be departing, and you know, maybe it'll go around, who knows. So we come up with 6.1 plus taxi 6.3. So that's what I'm going to put into the aircraft here. So fuel 6.3. Let's check that. Yeah, 6.3 is in. And for the performance, let's go ATSU, weight and balance. AC menu, weight and balance. Let's send the request. Question, Lilo Pilot. Yesterday I was in Frankfurt. We did parallel. Oh, you were in Frankfurt as well, Lilo Pilot. I was there too. Yeah, I flew back to Bremen yesterday evening. Right, let's start. Come on.
Boarding completed.
Ha! Lol. I have it on instant. Man, I wish that would go that fast in real life. Start boarding. Boarding completed. Brilliant. Oh, Marlos. Yeah. Yeah, Marlos. We talked a lot about this prior to me leaving. Yeah, and if you want to hear the reason, it's on my Discord.
Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, on behalf of myself, your captain, the first officer, and cabin crew, I'd like to take this time to welcome you aboard our flight. We're just wrapping up some paperwork up front here and waiting to receive final numbers from the ground crew, then we'll be on our way. Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly with a very important safety briefing. We do ask that you give them your full, undivided attention as they review the safety operations of this Airbus aircraft. We do appreciate your business having you aboard this flight. If there's anything we do to make your flight any more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Welcome aboard.
Wow. I don't know why, but I have the tendency to salute when I hear that kind of announcement. Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Well, cool announcement. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. Excellent. I think I'm pretty sure that's also YouTube streamer V1 Simulations, right? Sounds exactly like him, so I would imagine so. Yeah, I think so, Mark. Yeah, I think so. I just need to adjust the volume a bit. I think it's a bit loud here. Hang on. Pilsner, yeah, I can imagine so. And of course, you know, people love it. You know, I'm not taking the mickey out of it or anything like that. By all means, quite the contrary. I quite like it. I like the you know, snappiness. In German, you can't really do that. I mean, you can, but I don't know. I don't know how that goes down with the passengers. That's the experimental build at the moment. That's not me. That's me. Right, yesterday, Frankfurt landings are right, 320 Neo geared down at the same time. Is that normal? Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit offset regarding the thresholds, but yeah, it can be. No, MAN, no. So right now, I do not know. I've talked a little bit about last stream, MAN. Things are extremely volatile at the moment. Internally, I can't talk about internals in detail, but internally, there's a lot of discussions going on. There's a lot of news coming out as well. So I think on the 3rd of March, 2 days ago, there was a analyst conference, and the CEO was talking about maybe having the option to grabbing some 787 and A350 orders which were supposed to go to Russia. So either leasing firms in Russia or to I'm not sure if S7 ordered some, but definitely Aeroflot had 787 orders, I think. So they're currently in talks, and they said they hope to be grabbing some of these aircraft with these orders. So again, it's so difficult to estimate anything at the moment. But my application is in, so I'm just going to sit and wait until I get called. Hey, hang on. So, hang on. MAN, where are you? I thought you were 611. So someone else is writing he's on 611, which can't be. Hey, Grüße Stuttgart. So, are you online, Kuni? Hey, Lee, wie geht's dir? I'm glad, well, I'm sure you're happy it's weekend, right? So who's this then? So MAN is this, correct? 611, we said. Yeah, 611. And who's this then on 613? I'm on 612. Alrighty, so let's have a look here. So we've got a flight plan. Why is there no flight plan loaded? Oh, I have to click here. That's why. Ooh, maths exam. Ugh. Are you good at maths, Lee? I would imagine so, but what's your favorite subject, Lee? Probably maths. Right, we've got Malta alternate. We set 1.2. 1.2 for the alternate fuel. Not allowed, so we've got 6.3 round about 6.3. There we go. Now we changed everything. Oh, nice. GG's. Yeah, I can see you like maths. Yeah, cool. Excellent. Cucumbush, I'll get to your question in a minute. Shall we... Hang on. Does the... fly-by-wire mod... I'm confused. Does it have PDC? Connection, notification. Yeah, because it is available. Yeah, I thought so, CUNY. Okay, so you're left of me. Okay, no worries. So, yeah, because again, I'm flying so many different add-ons. I honestly, no Hoppy connection. Why is there no Hoppy connection? I do have Hoppy. And I know that I've entered all the values in here. Hang on, let me just check the AUC. Oh yeah, it's in. So the Hoppy user is so the Hoppy user number ID is in. So that's all set. Just to know why. It doesn't show for me. Cucumbush. Hang on, let me just get to your question here quickly. So. Departure request. That's a different page. Okay. Yeah. Roger. Well, hang on. Station. So there's no Hoppy connection. They moved it. November. Gate 612. You need to connect first. Where? Where do I need to connect? Connect. On the ATC page. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Lucas and Cucumbush, thank you much. All right, that makes sense. Thank you. Right, so departure request. Send. So that has been sent. Sending. Cucumber Bush, what are the biggest advantages, disadvantages of being a pilot? I'm still considering it future, not 100% sure. Well, I mean, let's talk about the disadvantages. Disadvantages are that you have a lot of problems planning your private life. You, depending on your contract, hey MCK, depending on your airline's contract, you have a certain ability to influence your monthly duty plan up to a certain point. And again, that depends on contract stuff. But you just have to realize as a pilot, there is no such things as weekends. There are no holidays like Christmas, Easter, etc., etc. You have to apply for 3 days on those dates. Now, you're not the only one who wants to be home for Christmas or wants to be home at Easter time. You know, you're gonna have to look at seniority. Oh, nice. Nice, I like it. Initial climb 4,000, 5577. 4,000. 5577. Next one, ready call 1218. Right, so departure.
1738, please.
So it's the Sorsak 7 Yankee and the
Lufthansa 1738, Fiume delivery.
Sorsak 7. Yeah, I'll go as that is a bit weird. And the Pipix 9 Bravo. Now I understand that. Let's have a look. So flight plan. Runway.
Speedbird 259 is ready for push and start.
34 left.
Okay, Speedbird 259, I'll contact ground 121.9.
Ground on 121.
Ah, okay, no, that's 7 Yankee. That's what's supposed to say. 7 Yankee.
With the 71 Kilo, Quebec, correction, permission November.
So 7 Yankee.
Via Sorsak 7 Yankee departure. Pepix 9 Bravo transition. And 34 left.
It only says Pepix transition.
Squawk 5505.
Right, let's have a look at the flight plan. Insert that.
Sorsak 7 Yankee, Pepix 9 Bravo 4000 5505 for Wheatley.
Put that there. So let me just check the flight planning here. Let's go. Hey Underwood, how you doing? And Bone King. So for Catania, it's also a fairly new scenery. Yeah, so sorry, I didn't answer the complete answer. Kubush. So pilots, you know, planning your free time and trying to, you know, have a reliable private life, i.e., you know, reliable in the sense that you can still meet up with your friends or take part in social activities. That is always going to be a bigger issue when you're a pilot. It depends on, you know, if you have like, you know, several days rotation somewhere abroad, or if you have, you know, if you work for a company that has a base somewhere where you do return every night back home. So again, it's so difficult to give you a straight answer on these things. Apart from that, obviously, the advantages are that you pretty much work autonomous, right? You get your orders, flight orders, but how you get there is you know, you do that according to SOPs, right? You're gonna, you know, do it as safely as possible, on time as possible, with the greatest passenger comfort level as possible. But how you get there, that's your own, you know, your own kind of preference, right? Or your only work style that you have. Same goes once you are a captain. You have a huge influence on the mood on board, on the atmosphere on board. You know, something that's I've always found that really interesting, really cool. Every day is different. Even if you, let's say for 1 week you fly always the same legs, right? It's always the same. Good, how's it going? And every flight will be different. so it does not get boring. There is no real sense of you know, it becoming just autonomous, boring, right? That just doesn't happen, right? Bukistos, let me just check the scenery. Now, be aware though. Another downside I personally think at the moment is the following. At the moment, it is extremely difficult to predict how things in the aviation industry will develop over the next you know, 15, 20, 25 years. So the time of your career, right? So this is from Barelli. Barelli, Microsoft Flight Sim add-on. Barelli. It's pretty new on Sim Market. We talked about the current tendency to try to get into single pilot concept flying, which I'm not a fan of, obviously, for obvious reasons. But can we stop it? I don't think so. It's just RNF. We can't do RNF yet in the so I've got to do VOR. VOR, where's 26? VOR Whiskey 26, X-Ray 26. I'm looking for Zulu 26. There we are, Zulu 26. Yeah, you know, the plans are there, and nobody knows exactly. Nobody knows exactly how long it's going to take. Let me just check. Hang on. Here we go. Sapphire. Yeah, I've set that. All good. Yeah, so you know, you've got to be ready for changes. That's what I'm trying to say. You need to be aware of changes coming. Does it have to be all bad? No. You know, you still may have a fantastic, interesting career. It doesn't all need to be negative in that sense, but it's just one of those variables that it's difficult to predict how it's going to turn out in the end. Health-wise, obviously, be aware. Yeah, you are going to be risking your health a bit regarding radiation, sleep deprivation, that sort of stuff. So going by CTF, let's do this. But again, I mean, I think that's not really a big issue in my opinion. But yeah. Hey Shepard, your Discord account was hacked and I lost control of this account when I got back to my account, and I saw the hackers make spam link posts. Give it for me away to back to yours. So Shepard's Gaming, can you get into your account? You need to contact Discord then. Contact the guys there and tell them to close your account, your original account, close it, and then you can create a new one. That's what I would say. Another thing. Now, this is one of the things, guys. Also depends on the development regarding demand for pilots. There is a huge demand, and it's going to get bigger. So, as far as it goes regarding workplace safety or a safe workplace for the future, I think being a pilot, that's given. However, I also think that there is a tendency at the moment to push down on wages, and they've certain companies have been very successful in doing that. Even legacy airlines have been very successful lowering wages for new pilots. And there are rumors that training will become more expensive. I've heard some rumors. A big training company here in Central Europe is increasing prices to 120,000 euros for the ATPL. That is just mind-boggling high in my opinion. So, you know, that's combined with low starting wages, it's going to take you some time, you know, if you don't have that money lying around, to pay that back afterwards. So yeah, I mean, it may change. These conditions may change over time as demand increases again. So yeah, but again, it's one of those variables difficult to predict. I could just talk about the current tendencies that are out there. The Borelli Catania is a bad FPS killer and it's awful. Really? Okay, so yeah, alright. Nobody warned me. Nobody warned me earlier. I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll have a look. We'll see how it goes. Hope it's not too bad regarding FPS. Good. So let's go again. So init A page, init B page, all filled out. Wind data. Can we get wind data? Well, I can put in an average wind. So the average wind component, it says, is plus 31. So tailwind, let's put 30 in there. And flight plan is now completed. RATNAV for departure. Oh yeah, departure. That's what I was going at. Yeah. Apart from that, I've, you know, I think aviation, so being an airline pilot, is still fantastic, interesting. But their changes are coming over the next 20, 30 years. So let me see. We are in Roma, and we got the departure route Sorsak 7 Yankee. Just looking for the charts. Sorsak. There. Well, Sorsif, no Sorsak. So there it is. So it's Sorsak 7 Yankee departure, which says it's going to go Romeo Foxtrot. Hang on, where am I? No, Sorsak 7 Yankee. So climb on runway heading at 1 mile Oscar Sierra Tango, turn left, 186 degrees track. That's 1 mile, overfly it, intercept 215 degree track to Sorsak. Alright, initial climb we got 4,000, so that's alright. And there we go, so that does make sense on the chart as well. Yeah. And then we got transition as well. Which is the PAPIC transition. Is it PAPIC? God, these names. PAPICS. Almost correct. PAPICS. PAPICS transition. Alright, let's not assume things. Received messages. Message record. There we go. Oh yeah, it's printed out, for crying out loud. It's a lot easier to print it. You should have the BMW Catania for free since you have Bilbao. What do you mean? Is that on the same installation process? So the 9 Bravo, Apex 9 Bravo transition takes us Sorsax, then Torley 3000 above, then we go to Konut, level 100 above, correct, and then to Apex. Alright, so that's all correctly programmed. If you have the BMW, I don't know, BMW package, is that what it's called in the folders, guys? The only folders I have is BMW Airport Locher and Bolzano. Yeah, I don't have Bilbao in there, no. Right, let's get one more ATIS quickly, and then let's go. So performance. We're going to flap 2. I guess 55 flex is fine. Let's go with the standard speeds here. And let's go for the infos. Rome Fiumicino. We've got NDP 1. And the engine out acceleration 3-4 left is 1600. So NEDP 1 means 1520 3020. So 1520 3020. There we go. Transition 6000 is correct. So that's all filled out. Secondary we don't have yet. Fix info. I'm not going to bother that for now. So we're going to have engine failure procedure, 3 miles Ostia, left turn 261. Alright, so RatNav, that's all I'm going to set. Ostia goes in here, 14.9. There we go. Cool. Henrik. Okay, Wilkes, I need to check. Yeah, then I need to check, because I'm not sure if I did buy that or not. But I can't install it now anyways, that's the thing. Because I would have to close the simulator again and do all the preparations again, which I'm not going to do, guys. I know, sorry, but just going to have to bear with the fact that the scenery may be a bit of an FPS killer. We shall see. But thank you so much for the heads up. I will check that again. Hey Yoda, der wird Amsterdam, ja, lol.
Do you want 712 pass a message?
Alfonso, where I live, Edinburgh goes for around 65,000 euros.
We should our message, so...
Well, Alfonso, again, it all depends on your work conditions for the first airline that you work for.
You didn't receive the clearance?
There is airlines that are fair. And there is hey Eagle Motion, and there is some companies which pay below standard. So it's tough. It's 65,000 euros. I think is better to cope with regarding payback. 120,000 euros. Let's say at 3% interest rate at some point. I don't know.
Roger, clear reverse Hanno, 7 miles departure, departure runway 3 for left, climb for 64,000, the initial climb, and Fox 1000, using 1712.
Well,
Is
MCK,
112 the correct advisement?
at the current inflation rate, give it another year, we're gonna have at least 3%, if not more.
Delivery, Juliet Bravo Tango.
How does real life Airbus handle very conventional based assets? I flew out for it Macedonia today, and after takeoff you immediately have to turn. It's fine, Eagle Motion. It's I don't find it difficult to fly conventional SIDs. Even the tight turns, you just adapt it with the flap settings. B4 start checklist. Cockpit prep completed. Signs are on and auto. Fuel quantity 6,280 kilograms. Altimeters should be 1009. Check. Just on that a bit. At 20 feet down to the line. Slada, I don't know what you're writing. I'm gonna have to take down that message. Yeah, English only. Sorry. At the current time, we don't know what's been posted here in foreign languages. Windows doors closed. Beacon is on. Thrust levers. Idle park brake is on. For me, delivery. Good afternoon, buonasera. Itaro 71 Bravo stand 612 A320 Neo request. Oh, we have the clearance requesting startup.
Itaro 71 Bravo, contact ground 121.9. Ciao.
Grazie, 1219 Itaro 71 Bravo. Ciao.
Alpha Lima runway 34
Home of
left.
beats. Good night to you.
34 left.
Yeah, keep if you want.
November
If people
Golf,
want to fly long,
Hotel
we can do it.
and Alpha.
Holding point Alpha runway 34 left correction via November Golf, Hotel and Alpha. Trainer 610.
Agent 653, okay.
Formation to ground, buonasera, Itaro 71 Bravo, stand 612 requesting push and start please.
Itaro 71 Bravo, push and start is approved, QNH 1009.
1009 to QNH and push start approved, Itaro 71 Bravo, that's it.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
Juliet 7 ground,
Parking brakes are
Tango
set.
stand
You may lift.
7
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
Juliet 7 Bravo, stand push, startup of correction, QNH 1009.
That's approved,
Standing by for pushback.
9.
Vitor, hey, how you doing? Lilo Pilot, I will check that with my documents. Not now, but big fine.
Good evening. Stand 613.
Please set parking brakes.
Cockpit to ground.
Go
Microsoft
ahead.
Flight Simulator 2020.
Cleared for start and push.
Pushing next to your
Okay, cleared for push start.
Microsoft
Parking brakes are released.
Flight Sim 2020.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
There we go. So, engine start, fuel pumps are on. We got the leak
request supposed to start,
pressure
the traffic
on.
is now clear.
last station calling. Push and start is approved, QNH 1009.
To start with QNH 1009, Olympic 50.
Ground, Ryanair 661, ready for pushback. Ryanair 661, stand by, the traffic pushing behind you. Alright, standing by.
Ooh, beefy sounds. Wow. Loud. Have they nerfed these sounds? Yeah, that's a loud howl. That's what I thought. Have they nerfed it? Philip, sorry for this stupid question. After this desubscribe from Twitch, long access to subscriber files. Philip, let me see. Normally, if you have connected YouTube with
on Echo Golf, then Echo Bravo, stand 205.
Okay, Pushback.
on my Discord, then you should be able to access these rooms. But we can help you.
Echo Golf, Echo Delta, stand 205, 1600.
Parking brake
Echo
set.
Golf, Echo Bravo for
Parking brake
Iberia
set.
69.
Right, engine one start.
Echo Bravo, thank you, Iberia 690.
Ground. You may disconnect.
The GN5 Charlie Oscar ready for 5 Delta Yankee Tower, 1 minute decimal 7.
Nice, Flight Sim Dad. That's good
Have a
news.
good flight.
Holding position, waiting for the visual.
Yeah, they are
Thank
default
you and
sounds. Yeah.
goodbye.
Ground Air Canada 603 at Delta Foxtrot requesting taxi to stand.
Fueling the 693 Tower, 1 minute decimal 7. Ciao.
Wow.
197 Lobby, minutes.
571 Tower, 1 minute decimal 7. Ciao.
Like it. Yeah,
Easy 1636.
exactly. Flightsim.to, you can find it. Find it there.
GN5 Charlie Oscar ready for taxi.
Philip, if you can do me the following favor, Philip. If you contact me on Discord in a private
GN5
message,
Charlie Oscar, taxi holding point,
I'll
Alpha
make sure that we get you
Lima,
admitted
left
to
via
the.
Well, Whiskey and Alpha, holding point Alpha Lima for runway 34 left. GN5 Charlie Oscar.
Rum ground, easy to 781, ready for
Yeah,
start.
Philip, it's the easiest. That's the easiest way to get everything sorted out. Yeah.
QNH1009, pushing start
So
through,
after
781.
start checklist, engine
Good evening,
anti-ice
ground,
is
American
off.
22,
Income
ready to push and start.
status checked. Trim.
American 22, start is approved.
Hang on, that was one thing that's missing.
1009, American 22.
Just go quickly have a look at the.
Easy 166 on frequency.
So 24 point, well, let's say 25%. So just a little bit up 0.3. So 25% set 0. Good. So taxi. Now this is the thing. Taxiing is somewhat complicated.
Juliet 10 Bravo Tango holding short deck. Go Fox.
Juliet 7 Bravo Whiskey Tango, thank you for cooperation via Echo Foxtrot, Echo Alpha Delta Hotel and Alpha to holding point Alpha Lima, runway 34 left.
Via Echo Foxtrot, Echo Alpha, Delta, Hotel Alpha, Alpha
It
Lima.
is, Brian, yeah, it is.
434 left, Juliet 10 Bravo.
Correct.
Itoro 71 Bravo, request taxi.
Tower 71 Bravo, taxi holding point Alpha Lima, runway 34 left via Romeo Hotel and Alpha.
Via Romeo Hotel Alpha, holding point Alpha Lima, 34 left, Itaro 71 Bravo. So,
Olympic Safety
Romeo
authorization taxi.
Hotel Alpha,
Olympic
not too bad.
653, taxi
And Alpha Lima holding point down
653,
here.
correct?
Olympic 383.
Left, right, clear, let's go.
Olympic 383,
Oh, that should be-
taxi holding point Alpha Lima, runway 34 left via November Golf Hotel.
No,
and
yeah, that was much easier than expected.
X2 runway 34 left, Alpha Lima via November Golf and Hotel Alpha. Olympic
Brake
383.
check, working.
Easy 166. Easy 166.
Indeed.
Frequency.
Indeed.
Flight attendants, please.
Ground, looks like we're starting to back up here at the exit off 34 right. Would I be able to get taxi to the gate, please, when able?
Yeah, Roger, will do. last station calling for Sunny.
Air Canada 603.
Canada 603, welcome
So
to Fiume.
this would be
via
Mike,
Delta,
so we've got
hold
to take
short,
a second to the left here.
Via Delta, hold short, Echo Golf, Air Canada 603. Thank you.
Agent 5, Charlie Oscar, contact tower 118.7, ciao.
118.7, Aegean 5, Charlie Oscar.
And Lufthansa 800, we are also standing by for taxi on Delta Foxtrot.
Busy airport today.
Lufthansa 8 Hotel, via Delta, hold short, Echo Golf, for calling back.
Taxiing Delta, holding short, Echo Golf, Lufthansa 800 Hotel.
Swivel 812 on frequency.
On frequency.
812, welcome to Fiume. Follow the taxi.
Welcome to Fiume, I love that.
Airbus A320 to hold the short November Echo Golf via Delta.
Follow aircraft, November Echo Golf by
And
Delta.
Alpha to the left.
Ryanair 670, contact tower 118.7, ciao.
118.7 for tower, Ryanair 610, ciao.
So that should lead us directly onto Alpha.
From ground, easy 2781, ready for taxi.
Easy 2781, taxi holding point Alpha Lima, runway 34.
Yeah, Eagle Motion, they do, yeah.
Zulu, Yankee, and Alpha.
So here comes Bravo
Right, Zulu
1.
Yankee Alpha, easy 2781.
And then there should be next Alpha to the
2781,
left.
your minute to ID is taxi via Zulu,
Yeah,
hold
so
short,
Alpha to the left.
Yankee 1.
Roger, taxi via Zulu, hold short, Yankee 1.
Yeah, you need to be
2781.
really careful.
Easy 1636, continue on Delta via Hotel and Romeo, stand 609. Stand 609 on Delta, Hotel and Romeo. Agent 653, taxi holding point Alpha Lima, runway 34 left via November Whiskey, Hotel and Alpha.
Taxiing the holding point Alpha Lima, runway 34 left via November Hotel, Hotel and Alpha.
Alright, so let's see, questions?
2781, thank you for your cooperation.
Questions?
From your left to right to continue to holding point
Dear
Alpha
I,
Lima, runway
dear I,
34
starting
left
my
via
A320 type rating in real life soon.
Roger, behind 737.
Will it be useful to buy the
taxi
FS
hold point Alpha
Labs
Lima, easy 2781.
for procedure practice? Well, okay, so
American 22, ready to taxi.
I would not get the
2781, contact tower 118.7, ciao.
I would not get the
118.7, easy
the
2781.
fly-by-wire
Ciao.
mod. It's that would not.
Tower 71 Bravo, same for you, tower 118.7, ciao.
18.7. Grazie ciao, Itaro 71 Bravo. So I wouldn't get the fly-by-wire to train.
American 22, ready to
It is
taxi.
just not quite
American 22 taxi holding point Alpha Lima, runway
quite
34 left
you know
via
good enough to do so. The FS Labs for procedure training, yes. You just need to be aware that even the FS Labs,
Aegean 27 Kilo, with 01016, runway 34 right.
depending on the you know the warning the flight warning computer standard that your company is using on your A320s, it may show
Ryanair 670,
something slightly
runway
different
34
compared to
left, clear for takeoff, so wind
That's allowed.
01016.
compared to
Ryanair 610,
the FS Labs, for example. But all in all, I do use
Aegean 5 Charlie Oscar,
I do
contact
use
radar
the
155, ciao.
the FS Labs for these
155, Aegean 5 Charlie Oscar.
to train for my sim checks. So here comes Alpha Lima. Fumitao, buonasera. Itaro 71 Bravo is ready for departure.
Itaro 71 Bravo, you are under clean sequence.
Copy. Yeah, so I can give you a website. If you want to have something useful to learn, procedures,
Olympic 38,
there is a
you are
website.
under clean sequence.
It's called Use Before Flight. Use Before Flight. Written out. Use Before Flight.
Roma Tower, Buenos Aires, Lufthansa 6
You can use it as a web browser, or you can also use it on your iPad, for example. And I found that
Lufthansa 6 Roma Hotel.
really useful.
Your number in sequence 7 miles from number 1, continue approach.
Lufthansa 6 Romeo Hotel.
Roma Tower, Buenos Aires, Juliet 7 Bravo, Whiskey Tango on
Juliet 7 Bravo, Whiskey Tango, you are number 4 in sequence.
Wow, number 4 now, cool.
Number 4, Juliet.
Busy.
Tarot 71 Bravo, line up and wait, runway 34.
3 for left, line up and wait, Itaro 71 Bravo. Good, so... For takeoff checklist, flight controls checked, flap setting, config 2, speeds flex 122, 123, 127, flex 55. Okay, no, takeoff no blue, below the line, takeoff runway is 3-4 left, full length, and the packs are on engines. Have a look. Have a look on the website. I don't know exactly what it costs at the moment. I would say about £50 a year or something. Not too bad. Good. Right, before takeoff checklist is completed, that looks all good. TCAS is on. So he's just departing there. Right, again. So 1 mile.
Ryanair 670, contact radar 125.
Left turn 186 track.
125.5, Ryanair 670, thank you, bye bye.
Itaro 61 Bravo, runway 34 left, clear for takeoff, wind 01016.
Itaro 71 Bravo, 34 left, clear takeoff.
Asiana 27 kilo, vacate left, no delay.
As good as timing start.
Lufthansa 6 Romeo Hotel,
Takeoff.
runway 34 right, clear to land, the wind 01016.
Manflex 55, SAS runway, all thrust blue. Thrust set. What is this viewpoint? It's terrible.
Ram Tower, EZ 2781, holding Alpha Lima.
Lots checked. V1, rotate. God, this is fast. Positive climb. Gear up. Yeah, so Deer Edge, if you just stay for a couple of minutes, I'll talk a little bit about training and give you some tips.
Asiana 27 kilo, continue taxi via Delta and contact ground 1219. Ciao.
Thrust climb, SRS climb blue. Alright, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, 1 mile.
271 Bravo, contact radar 124.2, ciao.
242, bye bye from Itaro 7 Bravo. God, what's so sensitive here? Blimey, those controls. Jesus.
Easy 2781, runway 34 left, clear for takeoff, window 01016.
Autopilot 1.
Left takeoff, EZ 781.
Acceleration out star, flaps 1, speed check. Roma, departure hello from Itaro 71 Bravo 4000.
Itaro 71 Bravo, Roma, climb level 190.
Climb level 190, Itaro 71 Bravo. Has something changed in the settings for the controls? Blimey, that's... Something's really messed up with my controls here. So 9,000 out blue, climb. $6,000. Look at the climb rate, right? I'm gonna. Wow! Before I get a TCAS RA, let me just dial down the vertical speed here. Look at that. That's crazy.
693 Golf, contact tower 118.7.
118.7, thank you. Between 603 Golf.
Brian, yeah, just a few more seconds. Let me just fly the aircraft first, and then I'll answer more questions. I'm gonna dial down a sound.
071 Bravo, direct PPX, contact Roma Control 124.2, ciao.
Direct PPX 124.2, thank you, grazie, ciao, Itaro 71 Bravo. So, direct PPX is fine.
Ryanair 670, Roma 1242, ciao.
124.4, Ryanair.
1228, speedbird 2591, ciao.
Roma 317, proceed direct line level 330.
Traffic directing neutral climb flat level 330, Edzian 317.
With a 410 Alpha, Unicom 1228, ciao.
Yeah,
410 Alpha, Unicom 12.8, grazie, arrivederci.
Agent 317, you can switch to Unicom now 1228, ciao, grazie.
I sometimes wonder how people that just get into flight simming
France 51 Foxtrot
deal with
Roma.
the Neo here.
France 51 Foxtrot, buonasera.
Because
France 51 Foxtrot November,
that's like
radar
crazy,
contact, climb flight level 300.
Climb level 300, France 51 Foxtrot November.
Crazy fast.
This Ryanair 670 Roma. Itaro 71 Bravo, Roma, radar contact, climb flight level 290.
Grazie, climb level 290, Itaro 71 Bravo.
I would recognize this voice.
Welcome. Right, so,
Roma Control, Easy 2781 with you.
Let's see.
Easy
done all the items.
781 Roma, radar contact, climb flight level 190.
Alright, good to go. Yeah, it's weird now. I was testing the Phoenix this afternoon, and it is interesting how different the controls are compared to the fly-by-wire. And also, so I just put one notch up on my Warthog Thrustmaster lever there. I put just one step up for the flaps, and it retracted them completely.
Speedbird 108 Roma.
So weird. Yeah, so regarding Hoppy,
you contact Barcelona.
There is a website. I think it's hoppy.nl. You can get a Hoppy code. It's completely free. And what you do, you go to the settings here, and you enter the Hoppy code into the correct box on the settings. I'm not going to show you because I don't want to leak my Hoppy code. What you can do then is you can use certain Hoppy ACAR system or CPDLC systems, which are integrated. Thank you much, Yoda. Which is integrated in quite a number of add-ons these days. So the FS Labs was the first one that had the CPDLC integration and the PDC integration, so pre-departure clearance. And it's really, really immersive, really nice to use. And today what we got was a pre-departure clearance. So we requested our departure clearance through the system. So the PDC, which works through Hoppy, the Hoppy network, and that's the clearest that we got back. En route, if there is a sector that uses CPDLC, like for example here now, let's try that. So the sector we're on right now, 124.2, has CPDLC, Lima India Romeo Romeo. So let's go connection, notification. Let's enter that code, notify, and let's see if we get connection here. Somebody was asking earlier on, I just saw a question regarding engine warm-up. So the Neos, they do take 5 minutes. If the engines have been shut down for more than 2 hours. If less than 2 hours, you have 2 minutes. But then again, there's also a temperature limit, 55. MC Capital knows better than me, but I think around about 55 degrees Celsius oil temperature. If it's below, you get a ECAM caution when you do the takeoff config test.
Milano 280 squawk.
I'm a big fan from round numbers, so 55, but it's probably 57 or something. Let me have a look. Is it 55? It's, oh, you know what, MCK, the weird thing is, with all these limitations, whenever I have a limitation, which is quite of a round number, like 55 or 60, I always think, that can't be right. That can't be right. It has to be like 57 or something. Alright, so that failed, which is a shame. Maybe he doesn't want us. Maybe we're too low. Or the flight time is too short. Who knows?
To all stations, unfortunately, the Fiumicino controllers are disconnecting. There is way too much traffic for me to do top down, so I really am unable to continue like this. There's just too many of you. The frequency time is not enough. So I will start sending you to Unicom, and then I will need to close. I'm sorry, it's just undoable.
Okay, I feel sorry for him. Yeah, so he says it's too busy. There's too many traffic for him to handle alone.
KLM 053, you can KLM 53, you can switch to Athens 134.325.
Yeah, so Geep, again, if anybody wants to join on the second flight, with me in Newark to Washington Ronald Reagan and do the visual approach there. Geep, the only issue I may have, if I'm doing the visual, the rear visual, if it's on VATSIM and they do have control there, I'm just afraid that they're gonna deny it. I mean, we can always log off if they deny. I mean, that's possible.
Negative, frequency 134.
So the only real advantage, again, if I go on VATSIM, would be if people want to join me. If there's nobody joining on the second flight, then I'm not going to go on VATSIM. Simple as that.
106, contact Athens 134.325. 134.325.
Right, let's get the weather for our destination and the ultimate.
45 Delta Yankee, Unicom 1228, ciao. LICC 383, approved direct to Sorrento, continue on Unicom 1228, ciao.
Looks nice. Okay. Outstar 290. Company message. Let's have a look.
Alpine 79 Delta Yankee. Thank you for the contact. I'm closing, unfortunately. Unicom 1228. Ciao.
Let's print that out.
Frankfurt 971 Roma are still on this frequency.
I'm in second CR for 31.
France 971 approaching Ripal. You can contact the Barcelona frequency 126.650.
So we've got
for the moment, Unicom 1228. Ciao.
122.8.
270 at 14, so still strong wind from the west.
Settle in. I do want to remind you to please detail those
Many thanks for your services. See you, bye-bye.
the cabin with galley card short.
Ryanair 1 Alpha Mike.
Also, one more reminder to please refrain from congregating with
1 Alpha Mike, Ryanair 1 Alpha Mike, also for you. You can switch to Unicom 122.8 now. And approaching Ripal. Contact the Barcelona frequency 126.650.
122.8 and approaching Ripal on 1.
Which version of the Microsoft Flight Simulator do you use? I have, well, I started out with the middle version.
5740 Unicom 1228. Ciao.
So now I'm using the most expensive one. I upgraded because of some airports I wanted to have. But I don't see a reason to get the most expensive version just for the aircraft add-ons, because the big jets like the 787, for example, is not that good. So it's not worth getting, you know, the higher priced versions just for these aircraft. Yeah, so the standard version, you know, is good enough. It's just maybe, you know, depends on the add-ons regarding the airports itself. So there are some handcrafted airports available, and the more expensive versions have more of these handcrafted airports. So have a look at the list and check those, and then you can see what's the best for you.
And Walker 1108, to make sure to coordinate, there is a lot of traffic on the ground at Fiumicino. Which Unicom 122.8. Ciao.
Okay, we'll make sure we get the calls, and we'll talk to you next time. Have a good night. Ciao.
Ciao. Air France 51 November, correction, Air France 51 Foxtrot November, switch to Unicom 1228. Ciao.
122.8 for Air France.
Yeah.
November, ciao.
Yeah, so Gonzalo, again, yeah, it's your choice.
Agent 5 Charlie Oscar, Unicom.
Well, I had the middle version when I started off with, and that was perfectly fine. I was perfectly happy with that.
Frequency 134.325.
So.
Roger 122.8, approaching on 134.325. Aegean 5 Charlie Oscar, thank you.
071 Bravo, Unicom 122.8. Thank you for your flight. Unfortunately, I've just ended up with no controllers below me. Enjoy.
Okay, that's no problem. Thank you so much for the service, and have a great weekend, Italo 71 Bravo. Ciao.
Ciao. Milano 280, Unicom 1228.
It's a shame that nobody else joined that event today. That's a real shame. Right, so that's the Ubzuta arrival. So Ubzuta. One hotel is what we filed. Let's see if I find it. There we go. So that would be the arrival. Oh, beautiful! Look at that. So that's going to be a beautiful arrival around the Etna volcano there. So we can check that now. So we're going to take that. So Ubzuta. Pepe, Libro, don't see any restrictions there yet. Libro, then we continue to Zerti, then Charlie 400, then Charlie 401, 402, 403, 404, 405, and then Tokla. Now from there, we're going to have to change the arrival, or transition at least. So we chose the one hotel approach via. Let's put no via in here. Transition doesn't have transition there either. Let me just see what happens if I do that. So that's your arrival, and then we'll do no via. So again, all the routing down to 405, and then we're going to go on to the final descent, and then runway. Yeah, so that should be okay. That should be better now. So plan mode real quickly. Yeah, much better. All right, so it's going to be a southerly downwind onto the final. I'm going to fly the VOR approach raw data, and I'll brief that in a minute. Should be beautiful. We should have beautiful views there. Good. Let's see. Yeah, so, oh, and Derach, you asked me regarding some tips there regarding training. Now, I've said it before, and really I know that most people that go into training have an extremely high level of motivation, which is good, which means that really there is not going to be an issue regarding your motivation to learn, to stay ahead of the curve. And that's really the big important thing. There is a lot of stuff to learn, and in some areas, in some parts, you're going to feel burnt out. Now, there's ways of making sure that you increase your mental stamina, if you like. So make sure you do sports, some recreational activity, be it meditation, whatever, read a book or something. So you need to make sure that you study hard, but you also need some time to take care of your mental state, of your balance, mental balance. But the very vital thing is study hard, study focused, and try to stay ahead of the curve. The only issues that I always see people struggling with is when they suddenly just lose motivation, or just lose the stamina, right? Mental stamina to continue on that really hard or that really high level, and then fall behind the curve. And when you fall behind the learning curve, it is so hard to catch up again. And that's really the problem. And another really big negative is if you fall behind the curve, so your test results and your gradings, or your grades, and again, every flight, for example, is graded, right? It's also a very mental, stressing kind of environment. You're always aware of the fact that you're being graded. But try right from the start, try to put yourself into a mental state where admit yourself to make mistakes. That is part of your culture, right? As being an airline pilot, for example. Be aware you're going to make mistakes. You don't do them on purpose, they happen. But you need to accept the fact that they will happen. The important thing is you learn from them and you try to improve and try not to make that mistake again. So the same goes for training. You're not always going to perform, to a level that you are personally happy with, or that maybe your instructor is happy with. Accept it. Try to improve on it. Move on. Right? Don't stress yourself out too much. And again, staying ahead of that learning curve just means you are going to be more relaxed when it comes to these flights, in this environment of being graded all the time, and you're going to perform better. And the opposite is true as well. If you start falling behind the curve, you become anxious, you become nervous, your self-esteem will drop, and that's a bad environment to be in. Right. So these would be my tips. Stay positive, stay ahead of the curve, and accept failures, accept the days where you just do not perform so well. I've had days in training where I performed above plus, so above standard, well above standard. I've had check flights where I got so high grades, and then 2 weeks later I almost failed. It's just these oscillations, they can happen simply because you're gonna be exhausted at some point. You have a bad night. You don't sleep well. You're gonna have these days, but just accept them. Move on. Learn from your mistakes. Move on. Don't let it drag you down too much. Guys, can you do me a favor? Please put !ask. That way your questions are saved and I can go through them chronologically. Super Gromby, when do you exactly activate the approach phase in the FMC? Okay, so there's two options. Either, if you have it available, that is, it happens when you fly over that pseudo waypoint, deceleration waypoint. Sometimes that may be a bit late, depending on your personal preference regarding speed reduction, for example. So yeah, Dervej, and I can tell you, I wish you all the best for your training, and again, stay positive, right? You can do it. Believe in yourself. You can do it. So yeah, fly over that pseudo deceleration waypoint. That will activate the approach phase automatically, or the time comes when, for example, you are under radar vectors to the final approach. So when you are under radar vectors and you are pretty sure that you're not going to fly towards a waypoint again, so that you're going to get radar vectors onto the final approach course, and you have speed control by ATC, or they tell you no speed control from their side, and you think like, okay, now I'm going to start configuring the aircraft to slow down. Well, activate the approach phase. Right, manually. That's perfectly fine. I would stay away from trying to do to put this into a certain distance from the airport or something. I mean, you can. So here's the on the performance page. You can do that if you want, but I would more be like the latest point of activating the approach phase. Right, so let's say you're 3,000 feet above the threshold. Well, how about 14, 15 miles from the airport? Give yourself like 5 miles for deceleration. If at 4,000 feet, well, give yourself like maybe 17, 18 miles to the airport. So So the question is, yeah, when exactly? Well, there isn't exactly a point, right? There is a point where you think it's convenient, and it fits into your energy management. Also, I know people always think about speed management. Yeah, it is in certain parts. It is a certain kind of speed management. However, I always see it as energy management. Right, you're trying to manage your energy profile. Mark, you ask, interesting to hear you say personal preference. Does modern SOPs allow? Yes, of course. Yeah, there are. The thing is, don't think of SOPs and your regulations so on always being black and white. They're not. We talked about this. There's always gray areas where you have a bit free playground, if you will. Now, there are limitations that you have to adhere to. There are SOPs that you have to follow. I'm not saying that you're going to make your own, procedures. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that, if there is no control from ATC regarding speed, well, yeah, you know, it's up to you to decide when to activate the approach phase, right? Hey, Emil, how are you doing? What do you think? Oh, sorry. Super late to the stream, but how has the weather behaved now? Okay, so right now I've not noticed anything irritating. So as far as I could see, there is no quick change of wind direction, wind speed, for example. I will monitor that in the descent as well, but right now I think, yeah, it has improved a bit. Hey Buddy, wie geht's dir? Ich hoffe, es ist alles klar bei dir. Nice to see you, buddy. Oliver, what sim do you think gives you most accurate experience? FS Labs or TOLIS? For me personally, as a rated 320 captain, the FS Labs still. But you know, I can't say that's going to be the optimum for everyone. Simply because 186 miles to go. Because not everyone does failures, for example, right? So if you're not interested in doing any failures, well, you know, then a normal add-on like the fly-by-wire mod or the TOLIS will be fine. But if you are, you know, someone that learns a lot about, you know, more in-depth of system behavior, including abnormals, well, then the TOLIS already gets into an area where it doesn't perform so well, especially when it comes to these electronic checklists. No. So Xperia, we are not fighter pilots, and I think even fighter pilots don't push their aircraft beyond the normal flight envelope. So an airline pilot will learn right from the start to respect the flight envelopes, and you would never ever on purpose push an aircraft beyond the flight envelope. You don't do that. You will lose your job, quite rightly so, if you do it on purpose. Yeah, you would lose your license, hopefully, and your job. So again, you don't do that. No. Yeah, okay, Wilkistas. If you want, yeah, monitor that with me then, please. Because I might miss something from time to time. Buddy, all fine. Work, much work, not much sleep. Oh, and traveling around Germany. Okay, but buddy, how's work going though? Are you enjoying it? Hey, Simone, and you are oh, I was sad. I will tell you, I was really sad to hear Alitalia closing down. I've had many interesting evenings in some lovely Italian restaurants with Alitalia crews. I will never forget those. It was so funny. We laughed so much, had so much fun. So it's always really sad to read a company like that being closed, so going bankrupt, and people losing their jobs. That really makes me sad. So I do hope all is good with you, and I hope all of you are going to be back in the saddle and be employed again. Yeah, I can imagine, Simone. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, so I did fly 747-400s. I flew them for 8 years. Oh no, the sun is setting already. Oh no. I hope we're gonna find or see some beautiful terrain on the approach. I mean, I can't if you want, guys. Oh, there we got the Etna. Look at that, Etna coming into view there. Let's see this my job makes a lot of fun, but. Oh yes, of course, buddy. But I mean, now hopefully you're getting paid good money for it. Hey Maxime, have you seen of pilots taking modafinil to help them stay alert? No. So I can tell you this: pilots are not allowed to take any drugs. The only drug a pilot is allowed to use during duty is aspirin. Officially, at least in my company, that's the only official drug you're allowed to use. If you need any other drugs, like heart disease drugs or anything else, because you have a certain medical condition, you have to clear that with your doctor, so the aviation doctor. So you cannot take in any drugs which are not approved for you personally or according to company SOPs. So you have to be really careful with that. So let's see how many miles. We've got 29,000 feet to lose, so that's about 90 miles, round about 90, 95. And since we are flying the complete arrival, I'm going to delay the descent a bit more here. I'm just going to put that to a bit brighter daytime, guys. Is that too bright? Yeah, it's a bit too bright. Hang on. There we go. That's better. Much better. Payment is good. Rent an apartment is good. Yeah, I know. At the moment, I mean, nobody knows where things are going with things like fuel prices. I've seen diesel prices hit €2 yesterday here in Germany, because diesel prices are coupled to heating oil prices here in Germany, and so heating oil has gone through the roof. I bought heating oil last year at around about €80, and I was really annoyed because I thought that's really expensive. At the moment, today, the last quote for me was €153 per 100 litres heating oil. It's crazy. Oh, here we go, Sicily. Could you imagine change the airline to go competition? Well, Bone King, in Germany we have no competition. I mean, not a German-based airline, so I find that quite bad. So, it can be good in some ways, but it can also put you at disadvantage in other cases. So, for me, if I change to another airline, I would lose all my seniority. It will put me into a big disadvantage. So, unless I lose my job, I don't think I would ever change the company. No. So, you can't really, in Germany at least, you can't really change. I mean, you can change the airline, but it all depends on the offer that you get. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know that you mean Condor, but let's say they're searching for captains, and you have the flight hours, you have the rating. The conditions would have to be such that you would think it's going to put you in a better spot. If it doesn't, then you wouldn't change, right? Cirrus clouds. Well, not today, but yeah, you may see them. Right, I'm going to start my descent down. Let's go 130 first of all. Well, actually, no, let's do 15. So 150. Transition altitude 7,000, so transition level will be 80. Performance, next page. Yeah, 8,000 is fine. We'll do config full approach and the minimum. So MDA, somebody's asking where to find MDA. Well, you're going to have to use approach plates for that. So here, for example, the straight-in landing 26
From
VUR
the flight
Zulu.
deck, ladies and gentlemen. As you may have noticed, we have begun our initial descent down to our destination. Now would be a good time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we prepare for
Index,
off-road.
let me just change
If you
that.
are up,
Index.
once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated till your aircraft arrives safely at the gate.
Tokla. Do we
Flight
have
attendants,
Tokla
please prepare the
somewhere?
cabin for arrival.
Index. Index. They all have index. So strange. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Zulu approach again. So Zulu approach. I'm going to fly this track flight path angle. So I'm going to dial in the Charlie Tango Foxtrot VUR. And I'll show you the scenery in a minute. Hang on. Ratnav, Charlie Tango Foxtrot. 1625, and the inbound course is 257. 257 course. Put that. Oh, does it want F? Oh no, 257. Put that in there. And one more thing to do is 630 on the minimums. So performance MDA is going to be 630. And there we go. Auto brake setting. We have a landing distance available. Just checking our website here. So Catania Airport has a landing distance available of 2,350. The auto brake low setting will require 30 times 60, 1,800 meters. Yeah, we'll go low. And landing 26. That puts us then Charlie or Bravo to the right. That's all fine. Cool. Hey, Sontla, how you doing? So we are over Sicily right now. We are flying around the Etna there to get to the airport. Beautiful livery. What's the biggest failure, technical failure I've had? I think I've been lucky enough to not have had any really major technical issues, like, you know, failing hydraulic system or landing gear failure, or I've had flap asymmetry, I've had electrical failure, I've had, you know, bleed failures, pack failures, no engine failures, knock on wood. And yeah, but I would say the really things that spiced my career were, yeah, weather things. So anything related weather-wise or passenger-wise, you know, those were the issues that I've had. But technically, knock on wood, nothing major, really major. No. Is the upcoming Phoenix on your radar? Yes, I'm a beta tester there. It is impressive, yes. But I can't say much about it. I'm still under NDA, so can't really talk much about it. Look at the scenery. Gorgeous. So I think I told you the story when I was a first officer on a 737. We were flying for a charter company over weekends, and I remember a day when we got the order to fly on Fridays, fly ferry to Catania to pick up passengers, fly them to Berlin. Then we stayed Saturday. Well, we had a day off on Saturday in Berlin, which was nice, and then we flew the passengers on Sunday evening back to Catania, and then ferried back to Frankfurt. And the weird thing was, as we landed in Catania, we saw, I think it was around 15 other company aircraft that had the same order. And it was a big Italian company that made an incentive weekend for their employees. So imagine 15 737s, the amount of passengers we took from Catania to Berlin for a weekend, or an incentive weekend. Thank you much for Kirstas. Yes, I am a real pilot. Yes, I don't. The thing is, I don't advertise it here on my. Sorry to say, I find it cringy. I just don't want to put this. Oh, I'm a real world captain, flying flight sims. I just don't like it. Sorry. Right. So those that come to my channel that watch my videos, they know I'm a real world pilot, but I don't have to announce it every time just to get the viewers, just to get the clicks. I don't. I'm just too old for that, I think. And I'm aware of the fact that I will have less viewers and less clicks, so I will make less money. But I don't really. That's not my concern. That's nothing, that I worry about. I just want to have a good time here on stream. I want to have people here that, that are flight sim enthusiasts, and that's what we're doing here. We're not doing real world flying here. We are doing flight simulation, and I don't do everything according to what I would be doing in real life, simply because I know that I'm flying a flight sim. I try to do things, as closely as possible to real world procedures. We'll talk about lots of stuff, in relation to real world flying, but I am not someone who pretends to be flying in real right now. Right? No. There are limitations to that here regarding flight sim, especially when it comes to the fact that it already starts when you're flying on your own. You're flying a complex aircraft on your own with sometimes VATSIM, ATC, and you read chat and you try to communicate. That's really what's all about here. What's it doing now? Nice overshoot because of very high still. But yeah. Peter, that's really kind. Oh, little lag. So the important thing is that you guys feel comfortable here. You feel like there's an atmosphere that you enjoy viewing, you enjoy the interaction, you enjoy asking questions. We'll have a laugh here and there from me messing up something. But yeah, I think everyone that has been following me for some time, they know they get some good infos, but we're not doing it religiously here, right? And it's something different if you're actually flying in real and you are actually having the responsibility for, hundreds of lives behind you. Then you do work differently. You are a lot more concentrated. So yeah, that's just the difference between real flying and flying a simulator. No, so Sapphire, the only way you can track a radial is to fly in nav mode. The lock button there, that is strictly for an ILS localizer. Oh, that's really kind, Eagle Motion. That's really kind of you to say. Yeah, so one thing that does unite us all. And it doesn't matter which part of the world you come from, which religion you have. We're all flight sim enthusiasts, so we are united in that fascination. How good flight sims have become up to these latest versions. There's Catania there. Look at that, gorgeous, and you can just see the Etna there. Beautiful. You land extreme crosswind, pilots... No, you have a certain amount of respect, but pilots don't have a fear. I mean, if they have a fear of flying, they wouldn't be flying anymore. You can't relax enough to, concentrate. So I don't have fears. I have respect for certain situations. So I'm not saying I'm not tense sometimes, knowing it's going to be a really tough approach that really demands, all of my abilities to control the aircraft. But I'm not afraid of it. Just crossing the coastline here. Beautiful. Are you any ambitions? Yes, long haul. I've applied. I don't know which aircraft type it'll be, and I don't know when it's going to happen. So, the expedite button. Hang on. Do we have a command for that still? I'm not completely sure. Let me just check my Nightbot if there is a command for it still. So the expedite button is there for the climb or the descent phase, and what it does in the descent phase, it'll go towards maximum speed. For example, max 0.080, although the max speed is 0.82 Mach, but it will give you a little buffer to that, but it'll pitch down from your current speed close to the maximum speeds. While if you're doing that in the climb, the expedite button will go and pitch the nose up until the airspeed reaches green dot speed. And so you do expedite either the climb or you expedite the descent. So 403 was supposed to be between 7 and 3,000. So I've got to expedite a bit here as well. Put the speed brakes out. Max to 30 knots. Signs are on. Right, quick briefing. I know I'm not doing the normal kind of stuff regarding briefings and so on. My apologies. Right, we checked the arrival routing. The only alt restriction is here at Charlie 403. We're going to do that. Speed to 10, to 10, to 10, to 10. We're going to descend down to 3,000 feet here. So we've got, lowest 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. And then we'll descend down to 1,700. So within like 9 miles, 10 miles. Well, we're going to go according to the profile there. So that will reach 1,700 as the final approach point there. And 3 degrees down, and we'll use again flight path angle and the track mode to fly the approach. And descending down to 630 feet for the decision. If we have visual with the runway, then we continue down to land visually, and in case of misapproach, straight ahead 5,000. 257 degrees outbound to 4 D's from Catania VOR. Turn right, max to 10. 143 inbound again, and then we leave the VOR 143 outbound, 7 dB arc, and back to the VOR theoretically, but we're going to try another approach. We're going to fly completely. It's like an 8, figure 8, as you can see. We'll get established again on the approach at some point. Non-standard. We have 2,350 meters available. Auto brake is low, so we're going to take about 18. Descend 3,000 now. Up descend up blue 3,000. QNH 1007. Turn right off the runway. And we've got Charlie Tango Foxtrot identified with GPS primary high. So good position, accuracy. Let me put, oh, actually both sides there. Okay, cool. Right, so we're still on the arrival routing, which is fine. And if you look at the VUR ROSE mode now, so you switch that to ROSE VUR, and there we have a raw data indication now. Is it possible to request a route? It depends on what route it is, Blanche. You know, if I have scenery for it or not. Wow, SimConnect error all the time. Catania traffic, Itaro 71 Bravo is currently 23 miles to the east. We are establishing ourselves onto the VR Zulu approach, runway 26 in Catania. So I'm just going to dial down the descent rate a bit. Oh, beautiful sunset. Frankfurt, London City. The problem with London City is I would need to do that in a aircraft that is capable of flying the approach. So steep approach mode. Oh, we have Catania ground. No, 129725. Yeah, no, but hey, in Microsoft, how good or bad is it? Right, so right now, just to make sure you understand, I am tracking the arrival routing. So we're still in the nav mode. We are establishing ourselves now onto the radial, but we're not using any raw data means to get and follow that radial. So it's perfectly fine at the moment to use the nav mode, since we have a raw data backup to check our position. But for the final descent, so latest, when we approach the final approach point for the final descent, that's when we need to use raw data only. Unless you fly this in a combined mode, like a nav and a flight path angle, then of course you have a raw data indication. But you could do this, for example. So you could fly and have a nav track indicating, and you can also see the raw data VOR indication there. So that will be perfectly fine as well. But I'm going to fly this way, just using... Oh, sorry. So so you have the nav mode here, ROSE Captain, nav. Yeah, the charts are blocking the view. So we have a ROSE nav mode, and you can see the raw data, that white needle there. So you have a raw data indication, even though you're flying on the nav mode on that green line, if you like. So that will be perfectly legal to do as well. This is that good old raw data indication, which in our case, if you fly a raw data approach like the VOR approach, that is perfectly good to do as well. 257 actually is going to be a offset by 4 degrees. So 261 is the runway heading, and the magnetic track for the inbound radial is 257. Good. We are currently 15 miles out, so we're below the path. But safe altitude though, so all fine. We're on that radial. Rustam, do you know what Phoenix aims to differentiate from the rest? Well, I mean, it's going to combine a lot of different features. So system simulation, including abnormal simulation, even the circuit breakers being simulated. So it's a lot more in-depth compared to other add-ons. Favorite wine in Sicily? I don't know any wine in Sicily, no. Can't really say that I do know anything in that regard. I am going to start descending down to 1,700 feet. So final descent is out of 6 miles from Catania. So now I have the approach phase active, speed is managed, here comes flaps 1. Speed is checked, flaps 1. And I'm going to switch now to track flight path angle. So I'm going to press on that button there. And now we have flight path angle. And I'm going to pull on that knob there, and now we have track. So now we are flying selected track. So the lateral track is selected, and also the vertical profile is a selected mode. Here comes flaps 2, speed is checked, flaps 2. Gears coming down.
2,500.
Catania traffic, Itaro, 7 Bravo is on a 8.5 miles final, runway 26 in Catania. Wow, beautiful, look at that. Love it. Yes, it does have an offset, yeah. 4 degrees. Good, we're reaching our final descent point, 1700, 6 miles. And we have some crossing altitudes to cross-check our altitudes where we need to be at.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
So 1 mile to go, flaps 3, speed is checked, flaps 3. Just correcting a bit to the right. And the final track will be 3 degrees. I'm really happy with that vertical tracking, really nicely done, if I may say so myself. I'm going to put 5,000 for the missed approach. And here we have 6 miles, we go down now. 3 degrees. 5,000 missed approach set. Flaps full, speed is checked, flaps full. Hey, pal, how you doing? Good, landing checklist, economic landing no blue. Let's switch on all the lights. We'll check 5 miles. We should have been here at 1385, so about 100 feet high. So we need to correct a bit more. You can see that as well, 3 white, 1 red. Just going to about 3.7 degrees. Next crossing altitude is going to be 4 miles, 1070. Just going down a bit more. Oh, we're on path now. Cool. Right, so we are visual. So let's go manual thrust, manual flight. Flight directors off. And now I have a nice indication there on the flight path vector. 1000, we are safe. Oh, it's not just safe, we're actually stable. There's the runway on track, but I can now maneuver myself visually to the center line. Oh, why is that? Lol. I love how the autopilot... It clicks. Didn't it click and it was off? I should have checked the modes there. My bad. These buttons.
Minimum.
Continue. Right, so visually adjusting to the final. Trying to get on path again.
500.
Oh, wow, that's a downdraft. Interesting.
400.
You did a landing in Porto? Yes. Lovely airport.
300. 200.
The FPS performance is fine. I don't know what people complained about 100. FPS performance. It's all smooth on my screen.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
We have spoilers. Can I have a reverse, please? Oh, there's reverse. Manual brakes, we'll go right off here. Look at the background there, lovely with the Etna. So let's stow that, and I think that's MAN right there. We'll park next to him. And there's someone else coming. I didn't hear anyone on the frequency though. That's weird. Thank you very much. Yeah, taxi to get your choice. What's up, landing? Right. What do you mean landing lights? My landing lights were off, so that's one thing that's really unrealistic. So if you have the takeoff light, it does not illuminate, you know, anything up here. That's ridiculous. Again, one of those flight sim things. Wow, does anybody else have the issue? Oh, 129.720, yeah. I talked about it, that we have ground, but I always get these beeps in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. It says illegal operation 29.72. You hear that beeping all the time? Man. It says SIM connect error. Illegal operation. You have that too, MCK? Catania ground, I am so sorry. This is Itaro 71 Bravo on your frequency.
Itaro 71 Bravo, no worries. I just log on. I saw you was landing Catania, so I log on. Very no worries.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the service, and have a great weekend.
Thanks very much for flying in Italy.
Yeah, beautiful area here. Lovely. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't look that bad. I can show you the scenery if you wish. Let me just go and reset that here.
Catania ground, Eurowings 198 on Bravo, vacated runway.
And FPS performance, now I didn't really notice anything really bad.
Taxi Alpha, stand 329.
So it wasn't too bad. But of course,
Alpha, stand,
I mean, if there's freeware scenery available, then I guess we can have a look at it and compare. Yeah, one thing that's really annoying is the push buttons here. So normally when I disconnect the autopilot on my joystick, so the peripheral, I hear a clacking noise, and I'm pretty sure I heard the disconnect sound as well. Now, of course, you need to check your your FMA. So I'm not saying you shouldn't check that. But for me, I'm sitting pretty far away from the screen, and the resolution is such that I can read it, but it really needs me to focus on that script. And normally you would feel the aircraft. So I don't know. I don't know what I need to do to set the controls in such a way that it disconnects the autopilot correctly. Or what could happen? I think I think what happens. I press it twice. So that's from real world flying. You press it twice, so that it disconnects the autopilot, and if you do it quickly enough, it will kill the whaler, so you don't get that annoying sound of the disconnect. And I think that's the problem. If I press it a second time, it reconnects the autopilot. And how is there a way that you can get rid of that? Is there a button assignment where the thing is this, flight sim that, so the disconnect of the autopilot for me is something I do subconsciously. It's always double click, always. So that's the question. Is there anything that I can do to, so not toggle, but just switch it off? I can't say cucumber bush. Yeah, but what's the correct command then? Autopilot off. What button is that? Hang on. Okay, let me just get rid of that. Clear, validate. Okay. Yeah, thanks. I don't know why. I had that mapped somewhere else. I don't know where that got mapped differently suddenly. Okay, so now it shouldn't reconnect then if I press it. And same for the auto thrust. Let me just check the auto thrust setting as well. Apply and save. That's the same for the auto thrust, I'm pretty sure. So that will be the autopilot or the thrust disconnect. Search by input. Just have a look. Okay, I need to get rid of that then. So just auto for disconnect. Right. So hopefully that will get rid of that issue then. Okay, cool. Right. Hey Snowball, how you doing? So next flight. So we're going to do a little break. I'm going to restart Microsoft Flight Sim, and we'll do the second flight. We're going to fly from Newark to Washington. Is anybody planning to fly along? MAN, I'm not sure. So MAN, first of all, thank you for flying along today. Anybody flying along? Then I would go on VATSIM. Otherwise, I'm going to fly offline. Let's have a look at daytime here. Let's go drone speed. MN, you're flying along. Okay, then I'm going to be on VATSIM. Yeah, if somebody is, there is scenery. It's, I don't know how good it is. It's quite expensive to be honest. It's about 20 euros, and the rating on it isn't that good. Wow, look how big that city is, Catania. That's incredible. Not today. I can do it next week, Toronto. I still have a couple of things that I promised to do. And one of the things I promised was, wow, look at that, was lovely. I guess that's an amphibious theater there. Could take a while to load in. Yeah, don't worry. So Flight Sim Dad. Oh, that looks really nice now. Look at that. Wow. Took a while to load in, but GG's. Wow, you can see how gorgeous it is. Catania. Incredible. Snowball. Yeah, fine. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I know. I've been here. I've actually been here in a night stop as well, but that was a long time ago. I remember that we found a really lovely pizza place, but I don't know how much time we had for sightseeing though. But definitely worth a visit. I mean, you can see that historically will be very interesting. Very, very cool old town part here. Really nice. That's incredible. Yeah, right. So more questions. Is it acceptable to try intercept the radio by drawing a fix on the nav display, and then using the VR mode on the EFIS? I forgot the name of the EFIS. Yeah, I mean, again, it doesn't matter which modes you use to get yourself established. So if you have a confirmed airplane position regarding nav accuracy, your nav display showing you the routing is accurately enough. So you are allowed to use the display to maneuver the aircraft. And so if you draw in a fix on the nav display and you have the required accuracy, it's perfectly legal to do so. It's just that the final descent. Okay, Amiens, joining you shortly. So the final descent on the approach, that has to be done with the raw data indications. Like I said, it's okay to have the nav mode open, so you can see that green line. Company procedures normally allow you to fly this and track the green line in nav mode. However, if it's a purely VOR approach or a non-precision approach based on the VOR on NDB needle or indication, then you have to have the corresponding radio station set, so either VOR or NDB station, and you need a positive indication. Right, so it would not be okay to fly a raw data approach. I'm saying raw data approach. What I mean is, it's not okay to fly an approach that is strictly based on something now to my Sim Toolkit Pro. Why is it not showing? There we go. So it would not be okay to fly this approach without having Catania VOR indicating, and also what it says in the chart, you need the DME. So the distance measuring equipment readout to fly the approach. That is required so that you can raw data wise check your distance from the VOR and then check your crossing altitudes, and you have that radial indicating on the nav display as well. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly stop this stream. We're gonna restart a new stream for the title, etc., etc. Looking forward to a very interesting river visual approach in Washington. Yeah, so Flight Sim Dad, the problem is it is quite complicated. So it has become very complicated in some areas, you know, legally what is required to have indicating on your displays. But yes, it is perfectly okay to have lines drawn on your nav display or have a manual entered fix, as long as you can back it up with raw data information. That's the important thing. So it would not be okay to simply program a fix and fly via these fixes that you've programmed without a raw data backup. That's what I'm trying to say. in some tutorials, I saw people are selecting the auto brake on final approach. I always set the auto. Yes, of course. No, so what we do when we prepare the approach, we set everything up. So we set the flight plan up. We set the landing performance data. We set the, you know, when we calculate the landing performance, we set then the auto brake. That is perfectly fine. Yeah, you know, there is nothing. I'm pretty sure it doesn't say that you're not allowed to set the auto brake, you know, before descent. At least it doesn't say in my books that you're not allowed to. Yeah, so Sapphire, somebody also answered that one, didn't they? Yeah. So you've got the auto thrust engaged. You go and pull the thrust levers back until the two, or that blue circle, we call it donuts, is equal to the current thrust of the engine. And when that is the case, then you switch off the auto thrust, and that way the engines don't rev up too much. That will be the correct procedure, yeah. But that has already been answered. Okay, guys, I'll be back in a few minutes. See you in a couple of minutes.